All right, we are live. Peace and love, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, please like and subscribe. And thank you for joining us on this Thursday. We normally have lives Wednesday night, but Wednesday night got kind of busy and chaotic, so we had to change it to Thursday. So welcome to everyone. And tonight we are talking about briefly about the significance of the coming cosmic events. If you've been paying attention and listening, and if you saw Monday's show with the Healing Cipher, you know that I was giving you all and sharing with you all some tips on how to prepare for the coming solar eclipse next week. And there's a lot of other things that are happening in addition to the total solar eclipse. And all of these things, of course, produce and generate energy, and energy affects us as we are energetic beings. And we're going to be talking about that tonight, how to be prepared, how to get yourself ready and in alignment with it. And we also have a special guest, which just signed out. So hopefully he'll be joining us again in a second and we will get started. But in the meantime, while we're waiting on him, we're going to just talk briefly about what's going on. There he is. Welcome back. So I was just going to introduce you. So I said, when our guests come back, I'll introduce him. So let's start with introductions. And Isaiah, I'm going to give you a chance to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. So thank you so much for having me. My name is Isaiah, or now I go by Ascension of Isaiah, which is my new rap name. Um, I'm from New York City, and I've moved out here to Maryland a couple of years ago, Southern Maryland area. And
DMV. DMV.
the DMV, correct. Learning lots of new things out here for sure. And got into a lot of nature, a lot of the complete opposite of the concrete jungle, so to speak. And I didn't really understand, but it was exactly what I needed, what my life needed: a slower pace, slow down, and appreciate the earth and wholesome activities. It's where where I found mindfulness. It is where I found groups of people that I align with, especially in terms of giving back to the land and communities, taking back the land, owning it, and creating from it, eating from it, all the whole nine, being a healthier and more conscious and aware person. So yeah, I'm at the College of Southern Maryland currently, where I work and take classes, and currently working on a music project. So.
Oh, give thanks for that. Good thanks. And yes, I'm a nature lover too. So it's something about just being closer to nature and just nature's a part of us and we're a part of nature. So you've had experience to actually enjoy that and experience that. So that's a great blessing.
Yes.
All right. Well, great. Thank you for joining us this evening. You've been on the show before, so we give thanks for you returning and joining us. So right now we are in the spring season and Aries season, and we also are in eclipse season because we had an eclipse. The last full moon, there was a lunar eclipse, and then which was also on a Monday. So 2 Mondays ago, last Monday I think was a lunar eclipse, and now we're going to have this total solar eclipse coming up on Monday, April 8th. And folks, yes, it is a big deal. Many people just say, oh, eclipses are just eclipses, but anything that's happening in the celestial realm or the cosmic realm, it does have an effect on us here and effect on the planet Earth. So this one is a big deal. The last time we had a total solar eclipse was in 2017. I did get a chance to watch that, and this one is I guess the second in a series of them. And those who've been following, that the first one in 2017 was in August of 2017, and it made a diagonal line in its path across the United States or our beloved Turtle Island. And this time is going up in the opposite direction, also diagonally, and it will be forming what looks like the two paths will be making what looks like an X across the country, which is interesting. And so there's a lot of information out there about the cosmology of this, the meaning of it, the esoteric meanings. And I'm not an expert on that, so I'm not going to be talking on that. I'm just going to be sharing with you all what this means energetically and how to prepare for it. And so the total eclipse is that rare event where the moon moves in front of the sun and casts like a shadow. And in that moment of stillness, that silence and the sky along the path of it, the sky will turn dark and it will appear to become night during the daytime, and then it goes back to the daylight. And that is very, very a powerful form of energy that we will be feeling on earth. The animals that are nocturnal will start to come alive and get active, and the ones that are active during the daytime will get quiet during that shadow that's cast. And then when it moves out of the path of the sun, it will go back to daytime again. And so that is something that we should be honoring and being quiet, being still during that time, as nature, as above, so below. So you see that in that moment of stillness and quietness, we should also be still and quiet. And I'm encouraging people to meditate and pray during that time. And that's a great time to go within. And many different cultures, ancient cultures had special prayers for the eclipse or special ceremonies that they had during that time. So I know you and I have been in communication. We've been talking about some things that we've noticed that's been taking place in the last few weeks. So I wanted to talk a little bit briefly about that.
Yeah. Stuff that has been taking place. I know that, uh, I mean, I feel like this has been years in the making. Like, it's a lot of stuff, but just speaking
Mhm.
recently, I've learned about um, there apparently is like a group of like people in Palestine, if I'm not
Mhm.
mistaken. I want to say Jews in Palestine. I don't want to misspeak, but planning some kind of like ritual on that day
Mhm.
or after that day.
Mhm.
The CERN, which is one of the biggest things, the CERN company called CERN, who has the Hadron Collider, the particle collider, which they said it was they wanted to simulate a black hole on Earth and simulate
Mhm.
the event of the Big Bang on a infinitesimally smaller scale. But I believe they got shut down for some reason. They're reopening on April 8th, or so I've heard, and
Yes.
shoot something at the moon at the total eclipse.
Oh, they're
And
shooting something at the eclipse.
at the total eclipse, supposedly, allegedly,
Okay.
and um, apparently, and this is even you can look this up on the internet. They
Mhm.
found a phantom ghost inside the halls of this particle collider that is some kind of presence that they cannot explain and is new.
Inside the CERN particle collider.
Yep, where they would try to generate the particles to try to simulate a black hole, and they're
Hmm.
going to try to reopen it and direct that energy towards the total eclipse. Now, for what? I don't know why. And
Mhm.
it's interesting, a ghost particle, they call it a phantom presence. It's just like,
Did they publish any pictures of this phantom presence?
no, nobody has any pictures yet. They just talk about it.
Okay.
It's a recent new thing. You rarely hear if a scientist get into that realm of talk. So I'm like, what is going on?
Of the
But
paranoia. Yeah, they try. Yeah, only special scientists will, you're right, will delve
uh,
into what they call the paranormal or the realm of the spirit. And
but this is being widely accepted. Like it's
oh, really? I'm gonna have to look that up because I'm not aware of that. Okay.
mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
Very interesting. Well, the particle collider is, if they're trying to simulate a black hole on Earth, you got to think about, are they opening portals, or are they using this machine to access portals? And then and you and I know that portals exist, and they doorways, if you will, to other dimensions. And so, they could be tapping into and accessing dimensions. And
That's what it
um yeah.
sounded like. Portal. That's what I kept the message I kept getting. It was portal. Oh,
Hmm.
not a portal.
Hmm.
I've had
And I'm sure the eclipse itself will open a portal, because whenever there's some kind of cosmic events like the solstices and the equinoxes, the realm, the veils between the dimensions gets really thin. And this time period we're living in right now, dimensions are just intertwined, it's more readily accessible.
mm.
So I'm sure during an eclipse there's probably easier access to other dimensions.
Do you mind if you break down the Soul Sisters briefly? Because I've never heard of that term until a friend of mine discussed it. That his
Mhm.
coworker had said something about sisters alongside God.
The solstices, the winter solstice and the summer solstice, you're not familiar with that?
I thought you said something completely different. So
Oh
scratch.
no, so maybe the accent. Solstice. Yeah, the solstices. Maybe I should have said solstices, but solstice, yeah.
Solstice. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But you mentioned something that you noticed about the sky in in our private conversations. You mentioned that you noticed some changes in the sky in recent weeks. So I wanted you to share that with the listening audience.
Yes. So I've been noticing that the moon is a lot brighter than usual, and it
Mm,
first started a couple days ago. How you doing, sir? It first started a couple days ago with my friend who texted me randomly saying, "Is it just me, or is the moon like it's super bright, like unlike
mm,
before?" And when I got out there on the road, I noticed it looked like a lamp, unlike anything I had ever seen. Like, I know
mm,
people use the moon for light, for travel back in the days,
mhm,
but this just looked like it was illuminating everything. It looked like it was just a grand lamp in the sky.
mm,
Then um, it was bright like that day after day after day. It felt like it was getting brighter almost. And then one day it was like kind of a super moon. Me and my friends were coming from the gym, and it was like a big giant like orange moon in the sky.
mhm,
There were no lights. There were no stars surrounding it. Within a few minutes, it was positioned in a different area, and
mhm,
it was a circle of stars around it. And I'm like, what in the world? And then there was like a triangle of stars around it. And I start to notice, because I always looking at the sky, always,
mhm,
and I'll see that there's stars that surround the moon, and it's usually in the form of a triangle or in the form of a circle.
mm,
And I've been noticing that heavily since 2019, I would say. And
mhm,
yeah, it just seemed to be doing, but I never seen it happen like that fast, you know. But it was
okay, okay.
very interesting. Yeah.
It's interesting. A lot of people are saying that these coming events in the next few weeks are in alignment with um, biblical and other prophecies. So I know one of the things that's written in scriptures is that there will be signs in the heavens and signs in the skies, and it's a lot of interesting things that's happening. And I don't believe in coincidences, so I think it's just really interesting. The turn of events that's taking place, because not only are we having this rare solar eclipse next week, we also are having a comet is supposed to fly by Earth that hasn't flown past the planet in 71 years. And yeah, they call it the Devil's Comet, but that's also supposed to take place next week. I have also noticed that the moon, we see a different angle of the moon than we used to. Because I remember when I was growing up a child, the moon was always like vertical. You only saw this, the vertical crescents and a half moon. But now you're starting to see the bottom
Mm,
part of it a lot, and you're seeing it just a lot of things are different about that. And I
Yeah.
noticed, the whole time growing up, I used to watch the moon and watch the sky with my grandmother and growing up. And she lived in a rural area, so we had like a lot of you were able to see a lot of the stars and the constellations and things because you're away from the city lights and the tall buildings. You could see a lot of things, and you're seeing things now that I didn't see. For years we would watch this at the summer nights in the spring, and now you're seeing angles that you never seen before, and I thought that's very curious.
Very much so.
Hmm.
A lot of celestial things that I just like 2014. I noticed looking up in New York. I just randomly looked up right in front of my building, and it was this bright, bright star that I had never seen in the sky before.
Hmm.
And every year after that, it seemed like it was getting closer and closer. Now we see that star very close, or whatever it is. It is always like, especially around this time of day, it'll be like near the moon or a certain distance from it. It's the brightest star. It basically looks like a ship in the sky.
Mm.
I've been noticing that and following since 2014. I think that was around the time they said like ushering in the age of Aquarius had began.
Hmm.
To notice that people around the world were more like widespread accepting of the consciousness and um, just awakening,
Hmm.
questioning things.
It's a great awakening, yeah, taking place now.
It's
Hmm.
been amazing to see the process.
It
Um,
is. It is. It's been amazing.
mhm.
Um, Energetically, I noticed since the spring equinox,
Oh yeah,
um, I've been feeling a lot different. I've been extremely tired. And a lot of people I talk to are also reporting to me that they are feeling a lot of fatigue, um, interruptions in sleep patterns. Um, I feel like my sleep pattern has reversed. Like I feel like more tired in the daytime, and then at night for some reason I'm awake more, and that's definitely not my personality. I'm not a night
mm,
person. But have you noticed any changes like that?
the same exact thing. The same exact. So I do these meditations with a
Mhm,
woman named Susan and a man named David Burton, and they
mhm,
do guided meditation mantras. They chant certain mantras, and it's a light body meditation. And
mm,
upon the last one, they both said that this from March 28th to April 8th of the total eclipse, there's this new wave of energy, and through this new wave, to be aware of your body and the fatigue that you will likely go through. And right,
oh,
right. So, and I had already started to feel more sluggish than usual.
mhm,
It only increased and increased and increased for me to the point I'm getting up at like 4, 5 p.m., 3 p.m. But and a little bit of this might be due to the project that I'm working on, where I'll spend so much time in the studio from like 12
mhm,
midnight till 6 a.m. But the
mhm.
way that came about was mystically aligned with this period. It was mystically aligned with this period of time
Okay.
with this project, and then us
Mhm,
discussing that being a period of time that certain artists are like awakening creative mode, and that's never
mhm,
been me, but it's been me more. It's like I've literally changed to that. And
mm,
even before that, I was sluggish and exhausted in the during the day, and that's this is the same has been happening between that time frame,
mhm,
March 28th, and I guess into to April 8th. But yeah, I
mhm,
have all this energy
mm,
between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m.
mm.
It's very interesting.
And you said
And that was the message.
the people you meditate with, they said that this coming energetic shift was going to produce the fatigue.
Yeah, because they get channels. They often get channeled messages from beyond, and those are the types of messages that come through.
Okay.
Ushering
Okay.
in of new energy waves,
Hmm.
fatigue and stuff is how people get affected. Things.
Yes. And yeah, I think the people who are sensitive, the more empathic people are feeling it more. And
Mm,
so that's why Monday show, I encourage people to focus on your spiritual practices, the meditations, the prayers, getting extra rest. At this time, I'm finding that my appetite has also changed. I'm not as hungry as I used to be. And in addition to the fatigue, so I've been eating light, um, and just learning to stay balanced and grounded with us, because sometimes all these shifts, and we know we've been having shifts for a while, but it seemed like it's gotten stronger recently,
Yeah.
or is more noticeable, and it's causing a lot of changes or symptoms, or some people call them ascension symptoms. So
Ascension symptoms.
that's what some people call these feelings, like the fatigue, the lightheadedness, the feelings of needing to sleep more, needing to meditate, needing to be quiet, changes in your eating patterns.
Mhm.
Those are some essential symptoms. Having more vivid dreams, having more spiritual experiences, or being more aware of things. All of those are part of your essential symptoms. Yeah. So what are some of the things that you do to stay grounded at this time?
Um, for groundedness, I meditate. I chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Hmm.
I do the light body. We chant different mantras, um, and the guided meditation that monk showed me, where you focus your mind on different, like a water or lake or even a situation, favorite place
Hmm.
while you're exercising, so that the mind is in a meditative state while moving.
Mm.
These are grounded practices, grounding itself by planting your feet in the ground. Haven't done it in a while, but I just recently did it, and I'm gonna do more of it where bare feet to the ground. So
Hmm.
the earth's
Hmm.
energy, tree hugging, hugging.
That's one of my favorite.
Yeah,
The grounding with the feet on the ground too. Tree hugging. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
even writing. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Right.
yeah.
Being near water helps too, if you are very energetic,
Mm,
empathic folks, and you're sensitive to energies. Being near water helps. Water helps. Not only does water help cleanse and purify, but water helps absorb excess energy, or helps as like a buffer. So if you can be near the beach or near a river or a lake, or put your feet in some water, living live water like that, that helps with these symptoms. And taking spiritual baths,
mm,
that's another thing you can do, like salt baths with Epsom salt or Dead Sea salt. Put herbs and flowers in the water if you can, because of the essence, the flower essence, that will help with keeping you relaxed and grounded.
mm,
So yeah, but thank you for sharing that information, the light body meditation.
for sure.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me see the significance. All these cosmic events, the comet, the eclipses, um, any things that are happening in cosmic time, they do have an effect on us here on Earth. And then, as we just have to be more um disciplined and diligent with our spiritual practices, and to help stay grounded and stay balance at this time. And the most important thing is, folks, whatever happens, do not have any fear, because fear is not only is it a negative emotion, it's just is draining, is not productive, and it can cause you to not think rationally. And at this time, you really need to be thinking clearly, thinking with your higher mind, not thinking from the energy of emotions or emotion, but thinking from your logical higher mind. Also practicing the ability to discern what is true from falsehood, what is for your highest and best. And so all of that can be blocked by fear. So just remember, folks, never, not to be afraid, to stay grounded, stay balanced, and know, this too shall pass. And then this is just a coming um, of a new time period, and just we should welcome it and embrace it and look forward to it, and just ride the wave while we can.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Yes.
Okay.
Some great.
Did you have anything else you want to share this evening?
I'll just share lastly,
Oh, we got somebody in the chat.
the oh wow.
Yeah, Monster Shannon, good to hear from you. Haven't heard from you in a while. Says, hello, sister. Is the solar eclipse Monday at midnight or Sunday at midnight? I've been so tired for the past 2 weeks and broken sleep as well. I share, yes. Welcome. Good to hear from you. Yeah, a lot of people are telling me their sleep patterns are off. Mine have been, and just even no matter how much sleep I get, I still feel like I could use another nap. The eclipse will start Monday the 8th in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. I believe it starts around 2 something in the afternoon, after 2 p.m. And it should last, the transit that it's making, it should last a couple of hours, maybe till
Oh
after
wow.
4. I mean, from the time that it starts moving, it takes a while to move from
Across the
in
sun.
the path, right, in the path, where we'll be seeing it.
Right.
And it will be starting in the afternoon, from what I've read, in the afternoon on Monday the 8th. But you may feel some of the movement and the energy of it prior to, that's possible. And then, if you, Monster Shannon, if you get a chance, watch Monday's show, the Healing Cipher show I did on Monday about it. I went into a little bit more greater detail on it. But thank you for your question. Thank you. And good to hear from you. Go ahead, brother Isaiah. You were sharing something.
Yes, yes. Thank you to Shannon in the chat as well.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I was just sharing that it's very interesting. Like when I said earlier in the beginning of the show, how this I felt like this is years in the making because, um, as you know, we've shared with each other about my dreams and
Mhm.
visions, the dreams, and that began at the end of 2019 and
Mhm.
kind of like ended as far as the strong dreams consistently in 2022. And I still get some uh, these days, but um, one of those big dreams that were all connected from 2019 to 2022. One of them were a total solar eclipse. And
Mhm.
I'm not sure when the last one we had because I do remember looking at one when I was younger in New York, but I can't remember if it was a total eclipse like this.
Mhm.
But yeah, so nonetheless, in the dream, I remember I was somewhere in a grassland like area with some people that did not recognize. This is in 2020. This
Mhm.
occurred. I was somewhere I didn't recognize, and I think a comet in real life was, well, in our reality, was passing by the Earth that night. But anyways, I was oh no, that was the next month. I'm sorry. But anyway, so I was in a grassy land area in the dream with people I
Mhm.
didn't recognize, and we were all just looking up at the sky, and the moon was, even though it was cloudy, we saw the moon and the sun move from across the sky until they completely covered each other, and it was like a ring of fire around the moon that represented the
Mhm.
sunlight. And once they completely crossed each other's paths into that locked in where it's a ring of fire,
Mhm.
the ground broke apart. The broke apart, and
Mhm.
thunderous, loud voices from the sky just started like raining down on the earth in speech. But it was so loud, it was thunderous, and it was
Okay.
like a certain speech that wasn't like a human talking, but it was like we heard and understood that it said we had like the numbers 3 and the number 7 to represent the amount of time that seemed like years to
Mhm.
prepare for some huge event on Earth
Mhm.
and something returning to Earth. And the ground broke apart, and then after the event, the total eclipse was over, and that happened. It was still cloudy, um, and but it seemed like it was brighter, and the people around me were completely gone. I was like, where did everybody go?
Mhm.
Fast forward, I was like thrown into the future, like immediately to a scene where I was at a concert. It was like a Drake concert, and everybody that was there, along with a whole bunch of other people, partying as if this situation didn't. It was like they were using it to ignore what just happened. And I was
Okay.
like, what? It was just strange. So then that was that dream. And then the next dreams that happened after that were all connected to something returning to Earth,
Mm,
a galactic, like it was a door with a cross on it, flying over my building, and that represented like Jesus returning. There was
mm.
an Anunnaki in my basement that
In the
had
dream?
the dream. This is
Okay.
another different dream, month apart, going back to back, month to month. And the Anunnaki said, "I am that I am." It had like flaming eyes. It was a totem pole like black head, and it was just sitting on the couch, chilling, saying that. And and then another dream, the numbers 3 and the number 7 again appeared
Mm,
as 3 and 7 stars came down and presented themselves across a virtual board, and it symbolized a return again and something coming. And then another dream that's like months after that is about an asteroid coming to the planet Earth, and
mm,
people getting chosen to go up into space and I guess leave the planet for whatever time of that event. Um, and the messages that keep coming back to me is some kind of galactic battle for Earth is going on with some kind of species or gods or whatever you want to call them.
mhm.
Different levels and hierarchies of beings, from angels, gods, aliens. It's like different names we have for it, but that's just the messages that keep reoccurring in my head. And it's interesting because, again, that first dream of the eclipse was in 2020. Now it's 2024, and it's happening right on my birthday. And it's like
Mhm.
it was the numerology is just lining up. It's very interesting. So I have no idea if that means anything whatsoever. I can get into a bunch of other dreams, but just for the sake of time,
Mhm.
that is what I wanted to share. And I've noticed that some people were seeing the same thing in their dreams, but very interesting time. So I'm excited to see what
Yes.
happens.
Yes, it is. It is very, like you said, very interesting time. It's a very interesting time to be alive. It's like the literally the greatest of times, and then for some people,
Mm,
not so great, but
yeah,
it's definitely interesting. You cannot disagree with
yeah,
the stuff that's happening. Well,
exactly.
thank you for sharing, and thank you for sharing the dream experiences and recordings that you've had and shared with us. Um, Good to hear from you as well. Good to hear from you, Monster Shannon, again. Peace and love. And so we're going to end with that tonight. And I look forward to next week and, getting prepared for it and upcoming weeks. And I just want to wish everybody a peaceful, blessed, and prosperous and rest of their week, and stay surrounded by love and harmony and freedom. And I just wish you all the best. Peace and love.
Take care. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.